2. Resetting the interaction. How to stabilize communication after collapse without reopening conflict. Once communication has collapsed, the instinct to repair it quickly can be overwhelming. Silence feels dangerous. Distance feels personal. Professionals often rush to re-engage, to clarify, to explain, to restore what was lost. Yet at this stage, speed is rarely the solution. What the system needs first is stabilization. Resetting an interaction is not about correcting what went wrong. It is about interrupting a trajectory that has become unsafe for meaning. Until the system can hold communication again, repair attempts only deepen the fracture. Why immediate repair fails? After collapse, the communication environment is fragile. Emotional load is high. Trust is thin. Authority may have shifted. Each message is interpreted defensively, even when it is well-intentioned. In this state, attempts to explain or clarify feel like pressure rather than help. This is why well-crafted messages suddenly provoke irritation, withdrawal, or silence. The problem is not the content. It is the timing. A reset does not aim to restore agreement. It aims to restore capacity. A reset is a pause, not a retreat. Resetting an interaction does not mean disengaging or conceding ground. It means pausing the current pattern long enough for the system to regain elasticity. The pause is deliberate and bounded. It signals control rather than avoidance. In many cases, the reset is brief, a change in medium, a short delay, a reframing of scope. What matters is that it interrupts the momentum that produced collapse. Momentum, once broken, allows choice to return. Separating the relationship from the issue. One of the most effective reset moves is separating the relationship from the issue at hand. When collapse occurs, the issue often absorbs emotional weight that does not belong to it. Everything feels charged, even neutral details. A reset allows the relationship to stabilize without requiring the issue to be resolved immediately. This separation reduces emotional exposure and prevents further damage while clarity is rebuilt. Containing rather than correcting. Correction implies error. Containment implies care. In reset mode, containment takes precedence. This may involve narrowing the topic, reducing the number of stakeholders, or postponing decisions until the system can support them. Containment does not deny the importance of the issue. It protects the conditions under which it can eventually be addressed. Professionals who attempt correction before containment often escalate unintentionally. Tone as the primary signal. During a reset, tone matters more than words. A steady, neutral tone signals that urgency has been removed. It reassures without explanation. It allows emotional load to decrease naturally. Over-precision, justification, or emotional warmth can all be misread at this stage. Calm neutrality restores balance more effectively than reassurance. Resetting without admission of fault. Many professionals avoid resets because they fear it signals failure. In reality, a reset signals leadership. It acknowledges that the current configuration is not working and takes responsibility for stabilizing it. A reset does not require admitting fault, assigning blame, or revisiting past exchanges. It simply recognizes that meaning cannot travel safely in the current state. This distinction protects dignity on both sides. Choosing the right moment. Resets are most effective when introduced after collapse has been recognized, but before positions harden completely. Too early, and they feel unnecessary. Too late, and recovery becomes formalized and slow. Experienced professionals learn to recognize this window intuitively. The signal is not overt conflict, but a loss of responsiveness and flexibility. What not to do during a reset. This is not the moment to argue facts. Revisit emails line by line. Persuade or justify. Seek emotional resolution. These actions belong later, if at all. The reset is about stabilization, not closure. Why resets often restore authority. When handled well, resets often strengthen professional authority. They demonstrate restraint, awareness, and control. Clients feel less pressured and more respected. the interaction regains balance. Authority at this stage comes from containment, not assertiveness. From reset to recovery. A successful reset creates space. In that space, other tools can begin to function again. Alignment can be re-established. Trust can be rebuilt. Emotional load can be managed. Resetting the interaction is the bridge between collapse and recovery. Without it, every subsequent attempt at communication risks reopening the fracture. The next chapter explores what happens after a reset, how trust can be rebuilt without reassurance, and how conversations can be guided back into productive flow once stability returns. Case: the meeting that needed a quiet reset. A South African consultant joined a project meeting with a large Japanese client. Something felt strained from the moment the call began. The senior Japanese director did not greet her as warmly as usual. His face was serious, almost stiff. His responses brief. Halfway through, she realized the problem. She had sent a document the night before that used direct language, a style normal in her own context, but too sharp for a hierarchy-sensitive culture. The director had interpreted the wording as criticism rather than clarity, and the emotional tone of the meeting had shifted before a single word had been spoken that day. Rather than explain or justify, she reset the interaction in one clean movement. Before we continue, let me step back for a moment. I want to make sure the way I shaped yesterday's document supports our direction rather than disrupts it. The director looked up. His shoulders softened. He thanked her for her awareness. The reset didn't erase the misstep. It rebuilt the space in which the relationship could breathe again. Scenario practice: the clean space reset. When a meeting feels hijacked by tension, offer a reset phrase without naming the tension. Let's find the point where this feels simplest and rebuild from there. Observe how people immediately exhale.